And welcome y'all to Black of the Berry. I am Dean. That over there is the Madman Los. We're back here for another episode. What's
You
up?
pump fake. You pump fake me. You pump fake me. I was like, that
What
would
do
have
you
been
mean? Oh,
that would have been a false start if it was at the Olympics.
well, nah, because I, you know what I mean? I just waited for the bang bang.
The delayed.
Yeah, because, whenever you click the thing, it's just always like a little fucking
Yeah.
thing. But whatever. They don't need to know the back end
No.
things.
That's not important. Not important. We got a
So,
lot to talk about today, man.
yeah. It's been a lot going on. None of it good. So I
And
guess
never seems to be changed. Like this has always been something to talk about. Is always going to be something to talk about in this field.
yeah, but it. I guess when I'm looking at things, and when I say things, when I'm looking at what's going on in the world, and then when I look at what the responses to certain issues. So, for instance, critical race theory is brought up, and so what does Texas do? Texas decides to double down on the one thing that critical race theory wants to speak out against, and then people
Oh my God.
want to ask the question of why do Black Americans just believe that this country is just founded on racism and is just inherently racist? It's because of what Texas is doing now. So for people who don't know, Texas recently passes a bill that effectively it would
Did it pass?
Yes,
I'm not sure if
has
it did.
voted. Texas Senate has voted to pass a bill that
would
remove requirement for public school teachers to teach that the Ku Klux Klan, aka the KKK, is morally wrong. This is also the within this same bill. It requires that historical documents related to the civic accomplishments of marginalized populations be taught in public school classrooms. Among dozens of examples listed in the bill are women suffrages and equal rights in the history and the importance of the civil rights movement, including the teachings of Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. Now, it would also require teaching about the accomplishments of United Farm Workers leader Cesar Chavez, Susan B. Anthony's writings about the women suffrage and Native American history. The bill further states that public school educators must teach the history of white supremacy, including slavery, the Ku Klux Klan, and ways in which white supremacist hate groups was morally wrong. But in the Senate bill, those items were removed. So effectively, what they have voted to effectively remove is all the things that I said previously, and what they're going to be adding.
This is nasty work. This is nasty work by Texas legislation. This is breeding and I don't get it because America has a problem with sheeps, right?
Sure.
But you groom them, so you don't want them being sheeps, but you're making them sheeps, and you don't care what color the sheep is. You know what I'm saying? So right here, what you're doing is grooming these prototypical white sheeps.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're just shaping these people's future to be so close-minded than actually it is. And oh my God, man!
So actually,
this shit is nasty.
So what I'm reading is, if I'm reading this correctly, actually, now that I'm continuing to read a little more into this live, I believe. Oh yeah, no. So effectively, Texas is just doubling down on racism. And then people ask the question of why do we believe that America is inherently racist? When it comes down to this. All anyone wants to do is just teach history as it is and teach history correctly. But if you start to, I don't know, Nazi Germany, your history, like it's happening in the United States, no matter which way on the fence you want to look at it, you're going to end yourself up into a precarious situation. A lot of people ask the question of why I'm so rough on China and Russia, and then why I have the stance on immigration that I have on. And the reason being is because of spies. And spies do terrible damage. And they're not always the typical spies in the sense of trying to gain information. More so, they're trying to plant information and plant ideologies. See, there have been a few Chinese spies who went unchecked, got caught a little bit too late, ended up getting as far as being the mistress to an individual that was on, the Secretary of Defense panel, not panel, but
detail.
not detail. Basically, the Congress they have different committees who oversee certain jurisdictions. He was a part of that committee. And then you also had an individual who was a Marine who also joined the NYPD. He ended up spying on, he was a spy for China, and he was trying to, implement certain aldermen within certain districts. And people are asking, well, what the hell does that have to do with, the education and what's going on in the schools? Well, you can't tell me that certain things that are having play aren't coming from other nations or even coming from our own nation for whatever reason it has to be. This is a lot deeper than what we're understanding. And America and Americans on both ends of the spectrum need to really wake up. If you're not for the teaching of the history, no matter what it is, correctly, you, my good friend, I should probably call you comrade. And I don't call you comrade in an endearing way. I call you comrade in the sense of you got to go. So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and to get back to the educational tip, like what are we going to have to teach our kids in 20 years, 30 years? You know what I'm saying? Our basic understandings of what the status quo of what they gave us in high school is going to be advanced for them, because everything's going to be recanted from the fucking federal criteria. You know what I'm saying? Of the, not the criteria, but the curriculum. You know what I mean? If they're going to take away, MLK and all these civil rights movements and women's stuff, what?
If you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going, and that's the issue. And I know a lot of people are going to listen and say that, "Whoa, critical race theory wants to teach that all white people are racist." No, it doesn't. It just wants to teach what effectively happened and the true fallout of it. The same way that they teach about the true fallout of what happened in Germany with the Jews.
Why is that? Why is that?
Same thing. But the issue is because at this point in time we're trying to speak truth to power into the into the actual American cultural identity. We're trying to have it identify itself and then actually asking it to fix itself.
I see.
And then we see what happens when Black people just try to say, hey, you know what? Teach about this, teach about that, teach about the true ramifications, of certain things. Like, for instance, there's a reason why when I was in college and we would get pulled over by cops, if I was with a white friend of mine, they would offer to speak up automatically. Why would they inherently offer to do that?
Because they know they're good.
And that's but why would you know you're good?
Because you got the complexion for connection.
Oh, we got to teach about that, because why would you be good in this situation and they may not?
But here's the thing.
You understand? But then when you're not trying to talk about it, you're going to end up in situations where when you got fucking Texas deciding that we're just going to double down on our races and we're not going to teach that the KKK wasn't morally wrong.
Yeah, that's terrible.
When we know they were. When the KKK was made, directly after slavery, and the reason being is because they believe that all the black slaves were going to end up sleeping with the black males are going to end up sleeping with their women. That's how it started, because what was happening was that, it was happening during slavery too. That's why you got all these light-skinned brothers and sisters. We're not even going to get on that. But people need to understand the games that's being played, and they need to understand that warfare just doesn't come to blows. It's laid down in different foundation in different ways.
Oh no,
and
I don't think we've seen that.
But look at what they're doing now. Effectively, you have in Texas trying to teach that it's not morally wrong for the KKK to exist.
That's what I'm saying. You're breeding those sheep.
But think about the ramification. Shit is bigger than sheep. And Texas isn't the only one. There's a lot of other states who are going directly after critical race theory. But my question becomes, if you're talking about going directly after critical race theory, and then your first objective is to then make it so that you can you cannot no longer morally teach that the KKK was wrong and immoral, my question becomes to you, how can you argue that America is not a racist country? I'll wait. That's a clip.
Yeah, and not only it is, and to not only piggyback on that, the ism in racism is still progressive. It is ongoing. You know what I'm saying? And it's just I through my independent research, I've seen and read that America is based off these things here: hypocrisy and racism. You know what I'm saying? And that is true indeed to their laws they write, to everything. You know what I'm saying? So like you can't trust the credibility of this because look at how it is built. It's built by rape and pillage of all lands, and we're gonna say all 50 states. You know, the native people don't have their land.
Well, then, not for nothing. We do have to stop. So, yeah, America's history was laid in blood, but then so was every other nation's. There's no nation that you can say got there without blood.
I understand that, but acknowledge that it happened.
And the conquering of people. Yeah, that's the issue.
That it happens.
That they acknowledge that it happens when it benefits themselves the hierarchy of this class warfare system. Excuse me, the caste system that they have disguised as a class system when it's really coming down. This is a deep caste system of racism within this country that people understand. You know what I mean? There's a reason why. Go ahead.
I mean, it's it's just nasty. It's just like I was saying, like, what are we gonna teach our kids? You know, and like you said, it's bigger than sheep. These are almost white nationalist soldiers, like white nationalist youth. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole thing, the whole Texas public school system is going to be like a white nationalist summer camp. You know what I mean?
See, first, and listen, I'm not even gonna really get into Texas is the same state that also, like, had in their history books for the longest time that all the slaves weren't unhappy. There were some happy slaves. There were slaves who traded their labor for housing. This is the same state that taught. Yeah, I'm telling you. So, Texas, I used to always put you over, because of your gun laws and because of, freedom, but I would never raise my child in Texas,
and that's
because they would have to go through too much. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't want to raise my child in New York either. There is a middle ground. It isn't either you two fucks. All right. Now, I guess speaking of, past the Mason-Dixon and just hypocrisy and nonsense and fuckery, we go on to more
the American way.
We go to more of what about more racism within America, and we're going to look at this video, 17 seconds, coming from Alabama. Torrance, Alabama, City Council member Tommy Bryant, racial slur. Let's see what happens.
This is another nasty work one.
Yeah, let's see what goes on.
The N-word. I mean, I know I'm black. Do we have a house nigger in here? Yeah.
And someone said yes.
Do we? Hey, do we? Would she please stand up? Y'all was seeing this, right?
Wow. So, and then what kills me is how comfortable he was saying it.
Yeah, say it one more time. One more time on this one.
What, you want to see it again?
Yeah, just one more time.
I mean, I know I'm black. Do we have a house nigger in here? Yeah. Okay. Do we? Hey,
somebody says yeah.
Somebody says yeah, you. Y'all was seeing this, right? So basically, the backstory to this. Tommy Bryant is a city councilman in Torrance, Alabama, who is facing backlash after using a racial slur during a meeting. Bryant, a 77-year-old Republican, says he isn't resigning. Video of the meeting has gone viral. Bryant said the N-word during the contentious city council meeting on July 19th. The meeting was streamed live on the city's Facebook page, and clips were posted on social media. The controversy is the latest to Royal Torrance, a city of about 6,400 in Jefferson County, just outside Birmingham. All right.
But he feels like he did nothing inherently wrong.
No. And I guess the reason that this started was because his wife was accused of making some racial slurs on the Facebook machine. I guess they were trying to get him off of that.
And how I mean, I guess it's because it's a city position, but still there should be some kind of firing on the spot.
Well,
you about to lose your job. What happened to that?
Here's the issue. When you don't have enough people who look like us, who's within positions of power, to be able to not only vacate that position of power, but then to fill it correctly, it's all for naught. And okay, you yell, scream, get him out, but there's nothing that actually speaks to that rhetoric. There's nothing that actually continues to drive state within that rhetoric besides it being like, oh, you should automatically
you just
know
bring the next nigga
you're
in.
racist. Nah, bro, exactly. So until you're vacating these positions of power and then filling them with individuals who are like-minded, then you're not going to have this stop, because then you won't be able to make the institutionalized change like the one that we see happening in Texas. See, people, I'm sick and tired of continuing to tell you the play. We've been telling you this. We've been on air for 3 years, going on 4. This is not a game. It's the same. We continue to say it, but no one wants to take a heed to it. You fuckers want to listen to it now. You want to listen to it later. You don't want to listen to it. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to continue to be out here chucking and jiving, doing a whole bunch of bullshit you don't need to be doing. You're going to be, I said what I said. You're going to be worried about everything that you don't need to be worried about. But then you're not going to be worried about trying to vacate, those positions of power to be able to fill them with like-minded people. You won't try to have a conversation of why haven't we got some badass people who are like-minded? Say, you know what? Let's infiltrate the law enforcement. The same way that white supremacists infiltrated, why can't we have some folk infiltrated who are like-minded, who want to push the agenda? You don't want to have that conversation. Why? Oh, because what you'll say is too hard. Oh, it's impossible. Listen, the impossible is only impossible until you make it possible. I'm sick and tired of the bitch ass. I'm so sick and tired of everyone having an excuse for everything. Guess what? Everyone has an asshole, just like an excuse. Get over it. Get over it. Let's actually do something to try to fix this and put ourselves in a position to actually do something. You motherfuckers think that because Joseph Biden got elected in office and Donald Trump isn't in office, that racism was solved within America. Let me tell you something.
Solved? No.
If you, no, excuse me. You think that racism took a loss within America. Let me tell you something.
Slightly
the Republican agenda, the same agenda that most of the time is speaking against a lot of things that you proclaim to hate, and a lot of times that they directly are speaking in a manner that is detrimental towards us. That identity took some swing votes in the last election. So the Republican identity didn't go anywhere. It really didn't even take that bad of a loss. Yeah, it lost Trump, but the reason they lost Trump was because his rhetoric and it was so bombastic. People say all the time, if he wasn't that crazy and he actually just shut up sometimes, they would have voted for him again. So I want you to look deep down inside within yourselves. I want you to look deep down within your values, your morals, and what you're willing to do. Because if you're going to continue to just sit here and talk and not actually do anything, and what I mean by talking, not doing anything, is you go to your message board, you go to your comments, you say your 2 pieces, and you stop and you go home. You're not really in this fight. You say you got skin in the game, but you don't got skin in the game. Do something. Do something. As that. Because if you don't, we're going to continue to get stuff like this. It's only going to get worse. Buckle up, Buttercup. Hope you motherfuckers are built for it. Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm talking, and I'm mind you, just so you don't get it mistaken, I'm talking to the same group of people who didn't say a damn thing about gun violence when it was affecting communities like ours for years, decades. But the minute it started affecting some white lives, then you care about gun violence. Go suck your mother.
Respectfully.
Disrespectfully.
Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head on that one, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But that is the issue, is that this is a fundamental problem in America. That why do what this fault this there is a sense of entitlement, and then there's a false sense of entitlement. You know what I'm saying? Why do those things exist? Why do you inherently think that white lives value more? I mean, I understand why, but we got to understand that this conditioning even exists. You know what I mean? Because some people ignore it, or they're negligent to it, and it's just like, you know what I mean? Because, like you said before, why if you're with a white friend, you get pulled over, why does he feel like he needs to speak up? Right? But then if you was getting bud or something from something, it would be like the other way around. He would be the one that needed to take you to the place and navigate your way through that. Why is that stigma even exist? You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is like, It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Even to people saying that, Spanish is a drug language. Who the fuck said that?
Where did you start hearing that from?
A lot of people been saying that. I've been hearing that for a while.
No. From where? What? Who says that Spanish is a drug language?
I've heard a lot of older black people, and I've heard a lot of older white people say Spanish. They say Spanish is a drug language.
You're telling me that older black people?
Yes, I've heard some. Mostly older white people, for sure, though.
That's a fucking these people.
You know what I'm saying? They said that's a drug language.
Also, these are the same people.
And this is around the time when everybody like hated Mexicans and Latinos, because of the whole the whole heavy immigration thing. So it was, I mean, not that it's not ongoing, but yeah, man. I'm sorry. Who's keeping up a lot of those Trump policies? Who hasn't really overturned much of shit? Overturned a few things, but who still decided to say that you better not come across these borders? Who? Joey B.
And Kamala. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, can't forget
you motherfucker. Y'all
can't forget single soul.
You still don't see the game that's being played in front of your face.
You know the funny thing is though, I don't know if it's me, but like after they got elected, I haven't really been seeing Kamala like that. Maybe I don't know where to find her, but I just been having like she was all in front, like when the campaign was going, she was everywhere. I seen her.
No, you gotta actually follow news. She's been doing a lot. To be honest with you, Kamala does more than Joe.
I'm sure, and that's why I thought that's nothing I would expect for my 47th president. But I just feel like I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen her. Maybe I haven't put my ear to the streets.
I don't know. All I can tell you is that you better get a gun. So that's all I gotta say. Because that's what it's. I don't know what else to say. You niggas got to get it. Get it, don't get it. It is what it is. Whatever. All I'm gonna say is niggas should just get a gun, learn how to protect themselves. Whatever. And it's not even my normal Second Amendment stick. It's just a simple fact of
no. Let's dive into it now. Now I got time today now about this. You know what I mean? Because what do you feel like there's going to be like a event like some kind of happening where you need to be armed, like a doomsday type of thing, or a massive siege? Like what do you think is going to envision happening, or you just want it just for general protection and self-defense?
I don't know. You have whole states deciding to teach that the KKK is not morally wrong anymore. I don't know. You have a world who is being held at the whims of a virus. Mm-hmm. And then you have a world that's also looking like it's maybe turning back the hands of times in regards to another quarantine maybe happening, and people may lose their minds. I don't know. You do have an issue with people not going back to work within the states. You do have a lot of issue with companies trying to find, workers to work. And then what's going to end up happening is those same people who decide to not work and stay at the crib, they're going to be replaced by automotives, and they're not going to have the skills to be able to make money any other way else. You also have it in the sense of, don't get me wrong, I'm for criminal reform, but the way that it happens now when certain crimes should require bail, certain of them. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't allow someone who beat the shit out of someone else to just be able to just walk out scot-free after beating the fuck out of someone else.
Yeah, buddy Paul.
Do you not expect violence to actually, happen after that? Yeah, so listen, So when you ask me, what do I need my gun for? I ask you, what do I not need my gun for?
What if some people are just, not in
I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling people right now, when shit hits the
some
fan,
people are not with guns. That's what I'm just saying.
Then figure it out. Because all right, you don't be with guns, so that way when shit hits the fan, I can use you as food. Go ahead.
I mean, you can't think about just general self-defense. It got to go to guns.
Do you think that this is do people think this is a game? When you have people, I don't know, you have the same country. This is what I don't understand with you people. Is the same fucking country that everyone yells and says is immorally wrong against you. The whole system is against you. You decide that you want to give up your one true right and way to be able to at least defend yourself if everything else comes to fail. Would you rather be judged or carried by six? See, I don't give a damn if people are for guns, not for guns. It doesn't matter to me. I can tell you what I'm for, and I can tell you when shit hits the fan, I will eat you as food. And I do not care. It is what it is. Take it how you want. I really don't give a fuck. You want to know why? I'm about it. Because guess what? I'm not the baddest man out there. I'm not. Could I be killed, in the gunfight? Of course I could. But could I kill you? Of course I could. It's up to you to test it.
How's
and
your
the issue is that most motherfuckers is just pussy out here. Well, and what I mean by that is, and what I mean by pussy is, it's not in the fact of, I'm just scared. It's in the fact that you just conform to everything, even if it'll come at the cost of your own health. Pussy. It'll come at the cost of your own self-defense, self-awareness, come at the cost of your own family's, growth. That's what they'll do. And that's what they continue to do. And then you jump on these fucking bandwagons that have nothing to do with you. But then how much yelling and noise do I hear from people about this? Oh, let me guess, not that much because outside's not open. Let me tell you this. I'm gonna say it right now, and I mean what I say. Yeah. Because outside's not. Excuse me. Because outside is open. That's why we're not hearing that much noise about this, Texas.
That's exactly why. That's exactly why.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Let me tell you this. If outside was open when George Floyd happened, we wouldn't even really know his name that much. He'd be just a regular hashtag, not even one of the hashtags. I said what I fucking said. And that's directly to black people. What? Tell me I'm wrong. Because we've seen people die just as egregious.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong. But
I'm just not here for it.
It would still be a thing, though. I definitely still.
No. You heard what I said, but he would be on the level of Fidel Castile.
Philando Castillo.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty heinous.
Completely heinous. But what I mean by that is, did Castillo have as much? Did his situation spark such a response as George Floyd, or did George Floyd's situation spark a response because people were already mad, there was already unrest, and this was just the camel that broke the straw's back. This is the straw that broke the camel's back, and the reason that happened was just because of the COVID situation. But people were outside able to live their regular life, they wouldn't give a shit. That's why a lot of the time I would argue that.
I would argue, but I would say that it
happens every day, and no one does anything to really truthfully change it.
It wouldn't have the same magnitude. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm. And then they wouldn't. Then that means they wouldn't.
Not say they wouldn't care, but it wouldn't have the same magnitude.
They wouldn't give a shit. They wouldn't give a shit.
Not that I thought that he just should have a trophy, statue. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna make a statue of somebody that was, something like that. Something like that. I don't think is worth statue. But I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that it would. I would think there would still be like, unrest, protests.
There wasn't that much unrest over Tamir Rice, and he was a child.
I thought there was not nationally, globally.
Exactly. No. Exactly. Why did a child who was under the age of 13 at that, a child didn't get not nearly enough attention as George Floyd did? Why? Because the nation was not locked down and people were not forced to look at their fallacies. Not only white people, but black people as well within the system of things. They just got fed up and was like, you know what? We do have to make a change. And the only reason they thought that is because outside was not open. They didn't have that much things to do.
I mean, I feel like Sandra Bland was a big one. You know what I mean? I feel like there was a lot of unrest on there. There wasn't any like super change.
It wasn't any exactly. And we still didn't get any super change from George Floyd either.
No.
It's all a game.
I think
that's why half the time when people are talking, I don't give a shit what they're saying because they're not even really into this shit.
Well, I think that's, to that thing is like for, like you said, it is a game, simulations, the Matrix, it's just like they know exactly what's going to happen. And I think sometimes they are scared of what they don't know what's going to happen because
you mean the powers that be?
Yes. Because they know that.
Can we stop fucking talking about them? And can we talked about these niggas enough? Can we talk about what we, the people, should be doing against them? Fuck. We know them. We know what this is. How many books, how many theories, how many allegories, how many things do we have to fuck these motherfuckers? What do we got to do? Let's tell these motherfuckers what we got to do to actually beat the system. Fuck them. They're going to continue to do what the fuck they're doing.
If you let me continue, my brother.
Sorry, man. Fuck this shit.
I understand that. Sometimes I know you're triggered. I understand.
I'm about to start rolling up. This is some fucking.
I know. But yeah, but like I was saying is like, they understand that what happens when these situations happens is that, they're going to be riots, there's going to be protests, there's going to be looting. They understand that that's going to happen, right? So that's already given because of history. They've seen that's how we carry these things out. But I feel like within these last last year of protesting and there's all this stuff is like people have it's still the same old protesting and stuff like that, but it's seen a new level that we haven't seen before, where I see that they may be taking this serious. And I feel like even though the only thing they actually do take serious is the only language they speak is when we blow shit up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they want to see, because it gives them more right.
Language either.
They don't take that language, but it catches their attention at least. You know what I mean? They don't when we protest and stuff like that. They're not listening. They don't see.
They only care if you decide. When we decide to destroy their communities, but when it is kept within our own communities,
right.
A few of them are mad because their businesses are in our community, but they're not mad because of what's truly happening. The reason being,
what I think though is that I think that it's. As someone who was there protesting in multiple protests, and when you're there and you see people stretched out in blocking an intersection or blocking a major highway, it really speaks to the testament of like the power of people. You know what I'm saying? And like strength in number.
Does it when Governor DeSantis down in Florida decided to then enact a bill that I think he signed it, or Florida may have passed it, but he signed into bill in action so that if you have a protest that is, I think, larger than 3 people, maybe even 5, I forget, but then pedestrians can legally run you over. So how much power do you really got?
Well, that's in Florida. First of all, Florida is a Quasimodo land. They have fucking stand your ground over there. There's all types of crazy shit.
There is a few other states who have taken and adopted the same exact measures. I'm just saying, Florida.
What happened to the act of demonstration? I said, what happened to the right of having the right to being able to demonstrate?
I agree with
protest.
I agree with you. Oh, you know what happened to it? Not enough people on the other side of it look like us, who have enough position and power to be able to actually enact that, to make sure we're not fucked over by it. But we continue to be fucked over by it because, to be completely honest with you, we're not in that much position of power, and we continue not to be, because when you mention what we should be doing and how we could get there, everyone just keeps saying, "Oh, it's too rough. What does this count? What does voting count? What does this mean? What does that mean?" Fuck it all.
Well, I think too, because I think that sometimes we're black people
bullshit.
so caught up in what's trendy that we gotta in order for us to have some interest in it, we gotta make it look cool. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Like, how do we make it look cool? How to make it look hip? You know what I mean? And it's fucking terrible, because it's like
W.E.B. Du Bois was right
about 10 out of 10.
Yes. 100%. I didn't believe in it before, but lately I've been believing in it, because obviously niggas are sheeps.
Yeah, there's a lot of
the way that we've been saying it. If I listen to us from since day one, we've always just been saying that black people we go with the trends too much. We go with pop culture too much. We go with
because it set off our culture.
Okay, then if our culture is not the culture that actually uplifts us, what do I give a fuck about?
You're right about that, because we do have some negative caveats in our own culture
that we do not address, that we continue to blame on this big entity that no one ever wants to do anything actually to really go against it. They just like to talk about it now because it's nice, cute, and cool. To be honest with you, I saw something the other day, and maybe it's just the circle I'm in, the people I'm around, but I saw that Meek Mill said some shit like, "Yo, we got to make going to therapy cool again." Making therapy in the black community cool. Black America has already been having this conversation about therapy. Mm-hmm. Now at this point, it's saying that, hey, we got this program. That's why I love when Charlamagne put the quote out saying, that's why I've started this. we can help 10 million black people have free therapy sessions. Or excuse me, 10 million people in general. I'm pretty sure he meant with just, black people. But let's start putting our money where our mouth is. Let's start actually walking the talk that we actually need to advance. But I'm sick of the cliches. I'm sick of the bandwagon, and I'm just sick of everything with a lot of things within our culture, within our society. It makes me look at you. I'm just like, you don't give a fuck. You give a fuck because someone told you to give a fuck. That's why I don't take most motherfuckers serious. That's why I know most motherfuckers don't like me, and I don't care. I'm fine with it because I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna die me, and I'm gonna die happy. And you motherfuckers gonna know that I died being me, not being like you motherfuckers who say one thing in front of everybody, but you look at yourself in the mirror, and you're a completely different person. You ain't gonna say that about Dean. Clip. I'm tired and I'm on fire.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a pussification of America, my man. People can't even look themselves in the mirror. Sad.
The pussification of you know what? Fuck talking about the pussification of America. I just want to talk about the pussification of Black America. When did we lose our balls? When did we start? Like, when did we become fucking cucks for America? That's what it fucking looks like at times.
I think
shit that we continue to fucking allow.
I think that people have been scared because of how we've seen people get made an example of and used as deterrents, so that it fears people from even acting. You know what I'm saying?
If you're supposed to be bad, be bad.
I mean,
stand by what you say. Be
but that's
who you are.
But that's the argument, because it's like, yo, you a gangbanger, you the toughest GD on the block, but when the cops come, you running off and doing all this shit.
Fuck all that shit when the cop comes. I'll take you one step further. The same way you be robbing the brothers, you wouldn't be robbing fucking old fucking Billy Bob and fucking Mary Jo when they walk through the fucking neighborhood. You wouldn't be going to their communities committing the crimes. See, it's amazing when I fucking listen to these fucking mafia stories and I hear what these motherfuckers were doing when they were hijacking and carjacking and how they wouldn't go in their neighborhood to do it. They went somewhere fucking else. It's amazing when you hear these motherfuckers talk about how they made sure that they were respecting women and how certain things weren't able to happen. Don't get me wrong. They're scumbags too. They killed their friends. They beat their wives just like anyone else. They're not the glorified. But what I'm stating is that why is it that they had the understanding to just be able to say, hey, let's respect our community, and you motherfuckers don't? The litter that I see within our communities is disgusting, but then those same people will not throw that piece of garbage out in a predominantly white neighborhood. You wouldn't just leave their streets dirty, but you'll leave your own dirty. So you'll sleep in filth, you'll dirty your house, but you'll leave someone else's house clean. What the fuck kind of what do you got going on?
Shit. That's that chucking and driving shit you was talking about.
I'm not here for the most.
That's not chucking and driving. That's that yes master shit, bro.
I told you, I don't care anymore, Los. I don't care if these people like
me. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Are you? It's a two-part question. Are you uncomfortable if you're in a room of predominantly white people?
No.
Even slightly?
For what? Because see, that's the issue. I don't need to be uncomfortable. You want to know why? I'm the fucking man. I don't got nothing to fear from you. I'm gonna have to be scared of from you. It doesn't.
There's no fear. I just feel like, to me personally, I just feel like uncomfortable because no one looks like me.
Don't matter. You want to know why? Because I am me. And ain't gonna be another me. Ain't no one else like me anyway.
I understand.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't got nobody in my skin color, but I'm still. I get a joy out of that because I'm gonna make you uncomfortable before you make me uncomfortable. I bet you that. And something else. I don't believe that you are superior to me.
No,
you may believe in white supremacy. No. But then what am I uncomfortable for?
We're on the same level. My uncomfortableness is that socially is to a social level. Like I can't be in there and be like and just vibe with someone that that looks like me. You know what I'm saying? Or even brown. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I'm in there with people who don't truly get me, and it's like I'm being myself, and they're just like, why am I even having a conversation with you? You know what I'm saying? You have no idea what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, let me tell you something. I've been living this way before, but double since I fucking come out. either you accept all of me or you accept none of me. But you think I give a damn? Like before, I was always my most authentic self. Even now, I'm definitely my most authentic self. I be saying stuff in the workplace. I'm me. The same way y'all are gonna be you, I'm gonna be me. You think I care? I don't. The same way we gotta accept y'all and your little quirks and stuff like that. Yeah, because you know what? I may not be able to identify with you on a base of our color, us having the same cultural background, quote unquote. But then that's also subjective depending on where you come from and how you were raised. Because just because you look like me, don't mean that we had the same upbringing. That's a fact. So besides that, when I'm sitting here talking to you people, or excuse me, when I'm talking to someone who don't look like me, there's a ton I can have in common with these people. It just depends on what it is. And I can still be my most authentic self. We could be talking about things we had in common. I can also be not agreeing with, what the fuck they say. Don't get me wrong. I may not be fucking saying you piece of shit assholes, but I'm going to say it in a professional manner. On a manner that is fitting that environment. But I don't feel uncomfortable.
It's doable, what I'm saying. But it's just, for me, I would feel more comfortable had it been a room of, definitely minorities. You know what I'm saying? I would have felt more. So I don't know. It's just sometimes that shit just rubs me the wrong way.
Don't get me wrong. It's a better energy. It's more fun. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I've been in situations where I went to mixers and I'm like, damn. So white boys club.
Are you asking me if you're asking me if it's boring? That's one thing. If you're asking me if I become uncomfortable in the situation, no, not at all.
Okay, fair.
No.
Maybe that's more what it is for me.
And then that also depends on who I'm hanging out with. You know what I'm saying? It also depends.
I went to goalie.
You know what I mean? Like I've been many times been the only black person in the group. And I've just been with some dope people and it's been fucking fun and it's been great. And I've been the only black person in some groups and it's been fucking dreadfully boring. It just depends on the individual. Right. But in no scenario, and it was in no scenario did I ever feel uncomfortable. No. I'll make you uncomfortable first.
That's probably what it was. though. Just like, man, listen, I need to get out of it. And I'm also a person, I don't really like the small talk. Like I would rather not talk to anybody at all sometimes because I just don't want the small. I'm not, if it's a mixer or something like that, or it's an event for networking and schmoozing, absolutely. But sometimes I'm just like, please just leave me alone. I don't want the interaction. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as I'm so much an extrovert and this big personality, I am so much an introvert, and I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. Please.
A lot of times I don't want to be bothered, but my mentality is we hear. And that's how we're gonna roll with it. Like, I don't give a damn. I just don't care. I just don't know how else to put it. I don't care.
You don't give a damn.
I don't, because no one else does, and everyone's fake. So why should I care? Because you know what? When everyone else is being fake, I'm gonna be real. So what do I care about their opinion? Like, it's the cliche thing. What do lions care about the opinions of sheep? But I could give a fuck. I do what I want. I say what I want. I am who I am. That's why I can go to bed at night with no problems. That's why I release this shit with no problems. I don't care. When I'm going back and forth with you online, it's because I think you're an idiot, not because I think not because you're hurting my feelings. I just think that you're an idiot. Don't get it twisted. You never get over on me because I'm already above you. There you go. I don't give a damn. I don't care anymore because people don't care. Out here living false lives and lying all the damn time. Whatever. What did the kids say? You're not on my vibration, bro. Bullshit.
Like, so, but why though? Like, why are you like this? Like, why? Like, what?
Why not? Why should I try to be someone I'm not? Why would I not double down on everything that I am, especially in the world where everyone tries to be everything that they aren't?
And toes down. I feel it. I feel you on that one.
You listen, I can't say that I'm not an asshole. I can't say that I'm not a jerk. I can't say I'm not a nice guy. I can't say that I'm not one of the greatest friends that you'll ever have. But one thing I can say is that no matter what happens, when the rubber meets the road for Dean and that 1991 date and that dash gets a 4-digit ending date, I can tell you one thing for certain. You will say he did it his way, and you will say he went out on his own terms, and you will say he was him up until the final moments. You will never get it twisted to say that I went back and tripped on some words or tripped over some things or was somebody that I'm not. I'm me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because that's the easiest thing for me to do. Lying is hard and difficult. For some of you, that's how you find your solace. For some of you, that's how you find your motivation. For some of you, that's even how you find your success. Good for you. You won't be able to sustain it. If you sustain it, it's going to tear you to a core. I may not have the typical success that all of you and the rest of the world may have or define it as, but I'm happy as hell in my life. I'm going to continue to be happy. And I can tell you one thing. There will eventually come a time that millions of people pay to hear this exact voice. So I can give a damn how you feel. I can just tell you what's coming.
Live update, everyone. Dean doesn't care. Doesn't
give a fuck about your opinions. I don't give a shit no more.
Doesn't give a fuck about your opinions.
Doesn't care about people.
About any of your doesn't care. Doesn't care for interaction. Doesn't care unless you're a like-minded individual. Die and take your whole.
No,
DNA
it's not even that. I'm actually good with people who aren't like-minded. I can deal with you with no problem.
All right,
but I can't deal with. I can't deal with people
if you're weak-minded people.
Yeah, fuck yourself.
Jump off the nearest bridge.
Because when the world ends, you're gonna run to somebody like me.
What are you gonna do? Eat that leg?
They're gonna wish I did.
He's gonna be a fucking cannibal.
No, I wouldn't be eating them. But what happens when I take everything that you have, and then you have no other resources or no other way to collect more resources, and then you eventually just become a sitting duck and die? That's what I mean. You're gonna wish I did, but no. When the rubber meets the road, and if all hell breaks loose, I'll be all right. I'll be all right, or I'm gonna die all right.
You're so just like, because I just want to know, because you told me to get a gun. You've been advertising this for a while.
Sure.
And you clearly said there was no doomsday that I need to prep for.
I said there's no doomsday you need to prep for.
I said, what is it for? What do you think? Is there an event coming? Is it a grand siege?
And I told you, I don't know. Texas is teaching that it's not morally wrong for the KKK.
I mean, yeah, I understand that.
I don't know. There is no.
That's indirect. That's gonna start the siege. But is there something like 6 months from now we need to look out for?
Yeah, your rights getting trampled on that people don't pay attention to, and then when they get fucking ran over or ran through, or I don't know, maybe cops decide that your house, they had to execute a warrant on the house next door, but they hit your house and you don't got no way to defend yourself, and they come in guns blazing. You just end up dying on your bed, crying, trying to call the cops, hoping for help. When I don't know, the national response time I think is like it's between 5 and 9 minutes. So there's a multitude of things.
But here's the thing. I mean, like, okay, so you're talking about, defending yourself. Cop breaks into your house, the wrong house, you shoot the cop. You shoot 2 cops. Yeah. Now what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to die?
Well, no, but I'm saying you're caught between keep shooting all the cops that come in or get shot.
You keep shooting.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying there's no, you're not coming out of that situation alive, is what I'm saying.
If I'm a bad enough motherfucker, I could.
In today's world.
If I'm a bad enough motherfucker, I could.
But I'm saying legally, they're gonna come after you. Oh, he's a cop killer. Oh, self-defense. Oh, this, oh, that. Oh, it's the wrong house. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm a cop killer. Well, I'm sorry. I'm actually an upstanding, law-abiding citizen. I don't do anything. So I'm sorry if a cop breaks into my house executing a warrant, you don't show me the warrant, you're trespassing, bro. And then you do this when I'm sleeping in the middle of the night. What do you think? I don't. You could be yelling cop, but you could be a robber. Am I supposed to just believe that off the rip when I'm a law-abiding citizen? That's the deeper issue that I believe most black Americans have, and that's an issue that a lot of them would. That's a pause that they would have when they shouldn't. Fuck that. You come in. Don't get me wrong. I give them the most respect that they need. I give them you pull me over, yes sir, no sir, whatever. I believe that you got to live to fight another day. But if you come in my house in the middle of the night, I don't know who you are. You can yell your cops, but you could be anybody. I'm coming out busting. And if you are cops, what are you in my house for? Because me and mine aren't doing anything wrong. So now you still wrong in my mind. There's no crimes being committed.
So what are you doing? Are you trying to disarm at first? Are you shooting?
How can I disarm if I'm in my house and then I hear?
No, I'm saying, are you shooting to like wound, like not wound, but are you shooting to like cripple, or are you shooting to kill?
If you come in my house, I'm shooting to defend myself and my property.
Both of those defend. I'm just saying.
It depends on the heat of the moment. And seeing as how I'm not a trained, seeing as I'm not like, some trained law enforcement officer.
You can't put
I'm going for the
one
kill.
between the head. Okay. Going for the stomach shot.
Exactly.
Stomach shot, let him bleed out.
Send a mask multiple times. There ain't gonna be no bleeding out what I'm shooting. And it's all legal. But then that same thought I'll have to shoot anybody. I don't care. You come to my house with nefarious reasons, yeah, I'm gonna fucking shoot you. Especially if I don't got time.
Even if coming in the house is gonna be, you gotta get past Brown. So that's number one. There's an alarm system already attached. If Brown is barking and he's not been subdued, they already know something's going awry.
You're right. Well, listen. At the end of the day, I don't give a shit. Fuck these people. Fuck all this shit. I don't care.
Live update, everyone. Dean doesn't care.
I don't give a shit. Because these people don't care.
Not one shit. Not one shit. Not one shit. Not two shits. Red fish, blue
This
fish.
is cranky Dean. I don't know. I'm just in a fucking fuck these. I just look on the social media machines and I guess I just see all the lies and the fallacies that most of you people have and most of you people.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing though. Like you expect. I feel like people don't have the standard to what your consciousness, and yet you still expect something from them though. I don't understand.
I don't know. Because that's what they preach. You preach that you're this, you preach that you're that, then do it. Then be that person. But if you're not that, if you say it in front of people, oh, I'm this, I'm that, but then behind closed doors, you're somebody else, and I'm able to see that you're somebody else, why would I give a fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Right,
I can't help that. That causes me to then compromise my principles. I'm good on that.
Very true.
So what have we learned today? If you come in Dean's house, no matter what the hell you are, you better listen. If you come in here legally as law enforcement, you're gonna have no problem. But if you illegally bust my door down, you can definitely expect me to respond. Because then you are committing a crime. And what does that make you? A criminal. And what is one thing that we've learned? Just because you have a badge does not mean you are not a criminal. So if you commit criminal acts against Dean, you can expect me to deal with you like a criminal.
And there's been a 101 from Dean. Home self-defense.
It is what it is.
Brought to you by Al's Wave Cream.
New York State, where I live, I don't really have any ways out. So it is what it is. I can't run.
Got the bridge. That's it.
You got that on record. No, because New York, you got to try to get out your crib before you do anything.
Right, you got and that's what I don't understand. There's a lot of declarations you got to make before you got give a nigga a chance to run.
You know what?
There's a fucking, you got to declare you have a gun. You're gonna shoot. I didn't call 911. Like there's like an 8-step process trying to defend your house.
Do you know how stupid people are? You've advocated for criminal reform. I'm not saying everyone's a criminal, but there are certain criminals that need to be in there. But you've advocated for it in such a way that it's easier for real criminals to actually be out in the street. And then you've made it harder for you to defend yourself. Do I need to say any more?
No, you don't. It's right in their face.
I am
right in their face.
I am disgusted. Disgusted. Like,
you don't need to say it. You don't need to say it.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
But here's the thing, what I mean, like so like Joe Biden, like back to Joey B. You know what I'm saying? So like in his book, he's winning right now because he's got the black vote. He got the black vote and he's doing whatever he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? And he caught that dub. He ate that dub, like Jameis Winston would say. You know what I'm saying? And what we have to do is we gotta somehow come together and make sure that one, we put people that look like us in power, so we can stop this vicious cycle. And we gotta stop people who look like Joey B and people who represent what Joey B represents to be in power and keep these old ass fucking archaic fucking rules in place.
Black people don't understand that they're sooner not going to be the shiny new toy. You have the Latino population, which is going to be the dominant minority by like 2040 or something like that, probably even sooner. And then on top of that, you have the LGBTQ community who's looking real shiny. So black people, if you don't get your affairs in order, get your shit together, you can get left behind the dusk again, still yelling about what they are doing instead of history being able to write what we did. It is what it is. I got nothing else to say on you on that. And I think that's the bottom line because motherfucking Dean said so.
I think that's where we should leave it at then. You know.
Then listen here, people. You go ahead and digest this, dissect it, do whatever the hell you want with it. Run it back, don't run it back. Go share it, don't share it. Tell somebody to go fuck off with it. Tell somebody that you love it. I don't give a damn no more. Do whatever it is that you please. You come back next week if you got the balls to. I am Dean. That over there is the Madman Los. I hope this episode showed you and opened your eyes to understand the games that are being played and perpetuated against you. If you haven't and you continue to do what you do, it is what it is. Just know when shit hit the fan, I'm going to eat you as food. Peace, love, and nothing but warfare. And guess what? We're out this bitch.